What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, we're going to be running Buzzwole, Jirachi, and Shadow Dragonite. If you guys saw yesterday's video, I did a shoutcast with a battle submission that had Carbink, Jirachi, and Shadow Dragonite. I told you guys in there I really wanted to try this team, but I didn't have a Carbink, so I wanted to try something else. Now, the coverage between a Buzzwole and a Carbink is completely different, but what I like about Buzzwole is it does very well against the Steel, Ice, and Ground type Pokemon, which gives this team some trouble. So it counteracts those Quagsires, it does well against Alolan Sandslash, does well against Dugong, and then it also has Lunge for those really clutch debuffs, neutral damage, and coverage to some of the Psychics like a Hypno or a Cresselia. And once again, like yesterday's video, Jirachi carried me as well. This Pokemon was incredible, and I think widely slept on in the meta. It is very, very strong. So let me know what you guys think about this team. I was able to climb 200 rating in one day. I did all these battles yesterday. I'm recording this on Thursday. These battles were done on Wednesday because I did that shoutcast. Then I built this team, did the battles, and climbed 200 rating in one sitting. It was so much fun. So let's get into it. All right, getting into the first battle. We have Buzzwole on the lead versus Jellicent. Yeah, tough one. Tough one right here. We can't really swap out. I mean, I guess I could go into Dragonite, but ultimately, Jirachi and Dragonite, I mean, Dragonite does the best on this team against the Jellicent because of Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw, but what I can do is go for lunges right here and now swap into Dragonite. This is going to force them to want to stay in and load up on energy, which is fine. I just chunked another 25% HP with Dragon Breath right there, which is why it's so strong. Now, they swap in a Mandibuzz as well. So, seeing a Mandibuzz swap in right here is perfect for me. It frees up Jirachi in the back, but I still have to deal with the Jellicent. So, I go for a Dragon Claw first, and we actually get a shield right there. Very surprised that we got one, but now I'm free to go for Superpower, as it will do a lot of neutral damage. And then the opponent also throws the charge move here, which is perfect. I can safely let this go. And then we need to come in and load up on energy with Buzzwole. We do need to watch out for Aerial Ace. It is double super effective because of our fighting bug typing. So I really don't want to take that damage, even though Aerial Ace is a terrible move. I'm just going to go ahead and shield because I know I can farm down right here. Snarl is resisted because of our fighting typing, and we have another lunge ready to go here for Jellicent. Now this is potentially within KO range. I don't think it does KO, but it's close enough where it's going to be forcing a shield. And now they're going to go ahead and throw the charge move. And after this charge move, I will be swapping into my Jirachi right away. Buzzwole survives. We swap, and they have a Toxapex in the back. Jirachi is by far the most satisfying counter to a Toxapex. Yes, Quagsire with Mud Bomb. But honestly, the steel typing here on Jirachi paired with the confusion damage is so deadly, and you can massively overload on energy. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Psychic here to, boom, take out the Toxapex, and then I'm going to go for Doom Desire. I was thinking about going for Psychic, but I didn't want to have to go for another confusion fast move because they might get to the Surf in time, so that is going to be a good game, very well played. All right, moving to the next one, we have Buzzwole on the lead versus Dragonair. So, somewhat of a kind of tough matchup. Both Pokemon just do a lot of damage to each other. Dragon Breath and Counter right here. And they decide to swap into a Toxapex. And this is why I was saying Jirachi carried me. I saw so many Toxapex that Jirachi just had a field day. It is so, so good. And honestly, if you want to, you can no shield and full farm down in this situation. I decided to go for the Psychic to take it out before another Brine because I want the Dragonair to be forced to throw energy against me. We still have a good amount of energy ourselves, and they bring in a Scrafty. So this is going to be a good game. We can align Buzzwole to Scrafty and Dragonite to Dragonair, and they'll just kind of cancel each other out, right, with fast move damage. Now, the Scrafty is going to try to commit to the full farm down, but they decide to throw right at the last second. I was about to get to a Doom Desire, but I actually think if they went for the counter, I might have been KO'd. Now, they have a lot of energy here, so we're going to come in and go for the lunge right away. They just boosted themselves with Power Up Punch, lunge, which raises your attack. Lunge now lowers the attack, and they swap out into Dragonair, so I'm going to come in with Dragonite and just Dragon Breath down. Now, I do have 2 shields remaining, So I'm going to go ahead and no shield the Body Slam, come in with Buzzwole, counter down, but they get to the charge move in time, and this is where I'm like, I might have made a mistake, right? They have so much energy on that Scrafty that if they shield bait me with Power Up Punch and land a foul play, it's over. So I shield, it is a Power Up Punch, and now I'm just praying that I can counter down. They get to the next charge move in time. I'm like, I should have just shielded my Dragonite and we would have been fine, but it was just another Power Up Punch, which we resist, and we're able to hang on right there. So good game, but I could have played that a little bit better, I think, going in with Dragonite. My concern was maybe the Scrafty counters me down, but looking at that, I don't think it would have. All right, we got Buzzwole here on the lead. Very positive lead for us. They decide to swap into Golbat and Poisons. I'm telling you guys, Golbats, Nidoqueens, Toxapex, they just get shredded. Now, I didn't see any Nidoqueens here, but I did see Golbats and Toxapex quite often. So we do the full farm down right there, having to give up one shield. And this is what's also amazing. If Double has Body Slam and Payback, well, Payback will do super effective damage. But if they try to go for Body Slams, it's not going to do enough. And this is normal typing there on the Double, which means we do tons of neutral damage with Confusion and Doom Desire. And they have to throw energy, but they're overloading way too much, as we can get to 3 Doom Desires at once, just getting double shields right there and getting a Confusion through. So I'm going to go ahead and shield, thinking that it might be a different Pokemon in the back, like a Toxapex. I swap into Buzzwole right here to try to fast counter down because they did Wild Charge themselves. So they land the second one, but it's actually going to be a Shadow Hypno in the back, which I unfortunately don't get the lunge off. Now this is very dangerous right here. You and I both see it. We're going to go ahead and come in with the Jirachi, try to get to this Doom Desire in time, but we don't. And we'll have to see what charge move this is. It is going to be a Fire Punch. Okay, so we go down. Dragonite's going to go ahead and come in, and this is why Dragonite just comes in so clutch sometimes. We're able to get to the Dragon Claw right there, so that is going to be a good game. Now, I could have played that better, right? I could have just let the double take me down, and it would have been fine. But ultimately, I would try to get sneaky with the Buzzwole. All right, we have a Shadow Dragonite here on the lead. This is going to be a tough one. We got to We got to swap into our own Dragonite, and they actually Dragon Breath us down, which is very unfortunate right here. So we're already like, our Dragonite's gone. It's just gone. So now we got to come in with Jirachi, go for the Confusion, and also shield the potential superpower right here, because it'll do a lot of neutral damage, which we do stop. Let's see what they have in the back. Mind you, Dragonite's gone. We're down a shield. Just taking this into account before you see the next Pokemon. It's a Lickitung. Okay, we take super effective damage from Lick, but we resist Body Slam and Power Whip. Now, we don't know what the final Pokemon is, but I think keeping Jirachi alive might be a play. So here comes the first charge move. This was a bit quick for Power Whip, so I'm going to go ahead and let it go. It was a Body Slam, which we resist. We're going to go ahead and come in with the Buzzwole right away, and they decide to stay in. And I'm thinking to myself, what could be in the back? I'm going to go ahead and no shield because the Body Slam isn't going to do, it's going to do a good amount, but not that much, and it's actually a double in the back. So double normal backline right here. We're going to go ahead and go for lunges to lower the attack, and it's going to get shields anyways. It's so much neutral damage that they have to shield everything right now. Now, the Body Slam is going to be coming through, but I decide to shield, stop that damage, and I'm going to try to get to another lunge in time to lower the attack even more. This is critical for Jirachi matchup, as we do get the second shield, and they will be throwing the next Body Slam right here. But because of 2 lunges, it's not enough to KO us. It allows me to swap now into Jirachi and go for the Doom Desire. Mind you, this was a 1 to 2 shield Lickitung and Buzzwole, but now we turn it around with the Doom Desire. The Lickitung is way too low, and it's going to get Confusion down, and we keep both of our Pokemon alive. They're very strong. These Pokemon are very strong. I know we had the fighting type moves there, But ultimately, I think it's the combination of the steel typing to resist body slams, the raw damage from Confusion and Doom Desire, the lunge debuff. It's such good synergy. Alright, we got Buzzwole now versus Scrafty. So very positive lead this time. And we'll see what they decide to do. They decide to swap out into Charizard, so we're going to go ahead and come in with Dragonite. Now, this is a matchup that is very tough because the Charizard can get to 2 Dragon Claws, which is going to be forcing a shield from us, especially since I swapped in a fast move late. So we're going to go ahead and shield right here and see if we can farm down, but ultimately I think Charizard is going to be getting to another Dragon Claw in time. Yeah, they definitely do. So I will be forced to double shield right here and then commit to the farm down because I want to maintain positive switch advantage against Scrafty because of the Buzzwole typing. And then we see that they do decide to bring in Scrafty, so I'm going to go ahead and try to build up to a superpower, but they decide to throw a charge move. I think this is just Power Up Punch, which it is. Perfect. So now I'm going to load up and go for, we'll just go straight for the superpower to force the final shield of this game. Now, boom! They decide to let it go through, and the final Pokemon is going to be a Togedemaru. So I tried desperately to go for the lunge there to apply the debuff, but they get to the Wild Charge in time, which is enough to take us out. So this is dangerous. We got to come in with Jirachi right here and do as much confusion damage as possible, and they need to build up to 2 Wild Charges in order to KO us, but I get that final confusion through, and this is not going to be able to take us out, so we win with the fast move right there, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Moving to the next one, we got Buzzwole on the lead versus Cradily. Very positive matchup for us, even though we are part bug typing. Remember, we're part fighting, so we only take neutral damage from rock. They swap in a Weezing, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Jirachi right here for confusion damage. And now, unfortunately, I did a CMP tie, but we have to watch out for all the charge moves right here. Brutal Swing and Overheat. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Doom Desire right here, trying to force a shield from them. We want to maintain positive switch advantage. So we will be giving up 2 shields right here because Jirachi with energy, even though we give up shields, is incredibly dangerous in this meta. So we fully farm down now. We have a good amount of health remaining. Let's see what they decide to come in with. It's going to be Jellicent. So this is now still a tough game, but Psychic here does a lot of neutral damage. So let's see if we get a shield from them. We do get a shield, okay? No debuff as well, unfortunately. So they will be overloading on energy and going for Shadow Ball. This is going to be fine to KO us, but remember, I think it was Scrafty lead. So we will come in with Dragonite right here. We're going to be tanking a Shadow Ball, but I get to the Dragon Claw just in time. This is going to be enough to KO right here. And now the final Pokemon, or it's not, sorry, it wasn't Scrafty. It was Cradily. But we come in with Buzzwole, and that's a good game, right? Good game. All right, moving to the next one, we got Buzzwole on the lead versus Shiftry. So now another positive lead for us. And Shiftry is a very spicy Pokemon that used to be meta back in the day. But they swap into Galvantula, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Jirachi right here because of the confusion damage. And the Shadow Dragonite would take a lot of damage from Volt Switch, the fast move. Now they go ahead and go for lunges, which is to be expected since it does do neutral damage to us and it lowers our attack. But unfortunately for me, I believe I CMP tied right there. I should have just double shielded and committed to the farm down. But now a Doom Desire is going to be going through. I'm going to undercharge it, expecting them to no shield, which they do. So now I can farm down for more energy safely. So this is still okay. And let's see what they decide to come in with. It is going to be the Shiftry, so I'm going to go ahead and go for Doom Desires. Now, this Shiftry is loading up on energy. And thankfully, Buzzwole's typing is Fighting Bug. So we don't take any like hard-hitting damage. I mean, it's a Shiftry, so it's still going to be hitting like a truck, but we're going to go ahead and swap into Buzzwole now, and they swap into Electrode. The reason why is I want to save my Jirachi for a sacrificial swap later on. Shiftry is very easy to predict with its charge moves because of the Snarl energy gain. It's going to be 3 to Leaf Blade, 4 to Foul Play. So we go ahead and survive the discharge right there because of lunge. We're going to fully farm down. We have a superpower ready to go, but we lose CMP tie. But thankfully, this is a charge move now gone from our opponent. So Leaf Blade will KO us. And now I'm going to wait out that clock because Jirachi catching a charge move might just be the key to victory. So we're going to go ahead and come in. They decide to look to go for the charge move here. My Switch Clock didn't come up in time, unfortunately. But Shadow Dragonite is still able to hang on, as Foul Play is not going to be enough, and we get to the Dragon Claw in time. So that is going to be a good game, very well played. So, a close one right there, but ultimately able to win. All right. Moving to the next one, we have Buzzwole on the lead versus Shadow Sandslash, Alolan Sandslash. So this is very good for us. They're going to go ahead and swap into Surf Edge, and Jirachi's just going to lock it down. Obviously, we need to watch out for Night Slash, so I will give up a shield. But again, Jirachi in these situations, like we've shown time and time again in today's video, when you get those full farm downs and have energy on the back end, you can put incredible amount of pressure, especially against a Shadow Alolan Sandslash, because Doom Desire is neutral damage to that Ice Steel typing. So the Doom Desire will land, and that's like over 50%, maybe 60% right there. So we go for another one. Now this forces a shield from them. Granted, they do have Shadow Claw, so they can farm down, and they have loaded energy, but they only have enough for an Ice Punch, and Buzzwole can survive an Ice Punch right here, and we can sneak a counter through. Now Shadow Alolan Sandslash is within range where Dragon Breath could KO. So let's see what they decide to do. They swap into Machamp, so I come straight in with the Shadow Dragonite, and this is going to be a good game. I can easily shield right here, and then commit to the farm down with Dragon Breath. That's going to be a good one. They won't be able to Shadow Claw me down in time. I go ahead and go for the Dragon Claw anyways to force that final shield, but they decide to let it go because they know it's over, right? Dragon Breath versus Shadow Claw right there. With that little health remaining, we still win. All right, we got Buzzwole now versus Shadow Alolan Sandslash. Again, this was very common that I saw in my sets. They swap into a Haxorus, so I come in with Jirachi, but it was a counter Haxorus. I should have waited to see the charge move because I could have easily come in with Dragonite. Now, I was expecting a breaking swipe right there as well, but it was a Night Slash, so I'm fumbling this game right now. But thankfully, we get the Doom Desire shield right there. So now, this is, oh man, this is tough. I could have easily read. I just should have waited. Just should have waited just a little bit. I come in Dragon Breath before they can even get the charge move off, but they get the Alolan Sandslash into my Shadow Dragonite. Now, this is a Shadow Claw variant, which means we can safely survive a lot of these fast moves right here. We just have to stop the Ice Punches, but we do have a 2-to-1 shield advantage with Superpower. So we're going to go ahead and throw that Superpower right now, force the final shield of this game, and we're going to swap straight into Buzzwole, and they counter swap into a Cresselia, and this is perfect. Even though Cresselia does do well against fighters, it doesn't do well against a Buzzwole with Lunge, because it does do super effective damage and lowers the attack. So this is going to be a good game, very well played, even though we played this incorrectly, right? I should have waited. Could have seen what charge moves they had, or fast moves on the Haxorus, I should say. We would have done a lot better, but ultimately this is going to be a good game. Buzzwole is just going to be flexing as we sweep now right here. Now they will get to a charge move, and this is probably going to be Ice Punch, but they decided to go for Drill Run. Just note, that's not the best charge move to go for. Ice Punch would have been fine there, but they threw all their energy. Dragonite would have come in and Dragon Breath down. It's over, right? All right, we got Golbat here on the lead. Now, this team is tough to deal with. We're going to go ahead and swap into Dragonite, and they bring in a Dugong. So, obviously, very tough for us. We can get to Superpower, which, honestly, Superpower on a Dragonite is exactly what it needed for these situations in particular, because now we force a shield, but they will fully farm us down. We're going to go ahead and come in with Buzzwole here and look to load up on energy. We might need to throw a charge move against Dugong in order to try to take it out before it gets to another Icy Wind, because it does do quite a bit of neutral damage. But ultimately, this is looking pretty tough. We're going to go ahead and go for the Lunge, but I don't think this is going to be enough damage. And Switch Clock isn't back up just yet. I don't think, yeah, it's not up just yet. So they will get to another charge move. So I'm going to go ahead and no shield. It is going to be the Icy Wind, which is not enough to KO. We swap into Jirachi, but they have a Alolan Sandslash in the back, and it's a 2-to-1 shield situation, but they have Shadow Claw. That is what's the devastating thing right here. We're going to go ahead and shield the Ice Punches. Obviously, Drill Run is what we have to look out for, but ultimately any damage we have to stop. And because Doom Desire does not one-shot right here, if this was a Shadow Alolan Sandslash, I think the Doom Desire with the confusion damage would be enough, right? I think it would. But ultimately, they're going to be able to safely shield, and this is going to be a good game. My Buzzwole is going to get deleted by the Golbat. So for as strong as this team was going for me, right, just sweeping through 5-0s, right, 200 rating in one day, I did get hard-walled by the double ice backline with a Golbat lead, and the double ice having that drill run and steel typing to resist or do super effective damage to Jirachi and resist the fast moves. All right, good game on that last one. We got a Galvantula here on the lead, so we're going to go ahead and just load up on energy. I will give up a shield here first because I know that with the added sneaking through fast moves, I should be able to get to a lunge right here, which we do. And we'll have to see if they decide to shield. Now, obviously, this is going to do less damage than before, but we swap into Dragonite, and they swap into a Surfetch at the exact same time. They were wanting to clear the debuff just like I was. So I'm going to go ahead and look to no shield right here. It is going to be Night Slash, but I can easily survive and go for Dragon Claw now. Now, we have to remember that Galvantula will probably be able to farm me down as we do take out the Surfetch, but it's all about what that final Pokemon is, and if it's another fighter, it's over with our Jirachi. And, well, it's not a Jirachi counter, but we have Buzzwole here with superpower, so this is going to be a good game. I'm going to go ahead and build up a ton of energy. This was not enough for foul play, but I decided to shield anyways, and it was enough for foul play. Who am I kidding? Sorry, I was counting right there based on this video, but it's sped up, so I missed a count. But yeah, we can go ahead and go for double superpower. They make a great swap back into Galvantula, but it's still going to be totally fine because now they will decide to go for the charge move, which is crucial. This is crucial. We come in with the Jirachi, farm down with confusion, and now it's going to be a race between Scrafty's Foul Play and Doom Desire, which we don't get to in time. And mind you, the IVs on my Jirachi are terrible. But we survive with 1 HP and a dream and get the Doom Desire off. Had we not gotten that confusion on Galvantula, it would have been over. But good game to my opponent. That was a close one. All right. Next one, we got Buzzwole on the lead versus Quagsire. So very positive matchup for us, even with Stone Edge. And they swap into Toxapex, and this is a tale as old as time. Jirachi is going to be cleaning through this. And with the amount of energy that we can gain from this, I'm going to look to commit to the full farm down. I talked about it before, and I learned this as I was playing, that actually in this Toxapex matchup, I can commit to that full farm down and give less energy for the Quagsire to get from mudshotting me down, right? So this is perfect for the full confusion farm down. We can now go for double psychic. It's not back to back. You do have to do one confusion in between, but we can go for it. So we're going to go ahead and go for the first one, and this is a lot of neutral damage as well. So the opponent is going to be forced to shield. So there's the first one. We're going to go ahead and go for the second one. We get to it just in time, and also the Quagsire only gets like 4 or 5 mud shots from us, and we get the final shield, or the first shield. Now Buzzwole comes in, they swap into Pidgeot, so we're going to go ahead and come in with Dragonite, and Dragon Breath is going to do its thing along with Dragon Claw, forcing the final shield of this game. If they decide to let this go, it's definitely all over, but they decide to shield. So now this is going to force me to shield as well. I want to stop that potential Brave Bird, but it is just going to be Feather Dance, which is fine. Dragon Breath now. This is a good game. I can just go for another Dragon Claw right here, saving a shield for Buzzwole to close this game out. Like I was saying earlier, Quagsire, even though you're thinking, oh, that Stone Edge is going to hurt, it's only neutral, right? Buzzwole fighting bug, so the fighting resist rock, so it's only going to be neutral damage. We can safely shield here as they go for Mud Bomb, and now I can go for the Dragon Claw, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. This team put in absolute work for me yesterday. Yeah, it was so good. 200 just 5-0s over and over and over and over. The only time that I hard lost was that Golbat team. So I went from 24, I think it was like 2460 to 2640, 180 elo, 280 is the same difference. But this team, it was so good. give it a try if you guys have these Pokemon. There's only a few hours left before rotation. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.